morning, everyone. This court is in session. I will be presiding over this matter in the case of Bayer 04 Leverkusen against UEFA. I understand the subject of the dispute are the UEFA financial fair play regulations. And I understand from your briefings that the complainant is alleging breaches of European competition law. I will first hear the arguments from Bayer 04, and then I will invite UEFA to respond to these allegations. If the court has any further questions that it would like to see clarified, I will pose those questions. We can start with the opening statements, opening claims from Bayer 04. And I would like to ask to be respectful for the court. Sure. No fighting and no disrespectful behavior. Mr. Surish, you're representing Bayer 04.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Good morning. If it may please this honorable court, this is counsel representing Bayer Leverkusen versus UEFA in this case. And with the due permission of this bench, I would like to address the bench as your lordships.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Today, we as Bayer Leverkusen have 6 issues, which we will try to summarize as much as possible.
Please.
If you may permit, I may move on to issue 1, which is talking about luxury taxes. And in this, we would like to propose first that the concept of luxury taxes is something that is given over and above once a player's transfer wages exceed a certain limit. We propose to pay a luxury tax, which is a particular sum of the transfer money, which goes back to the association, and therefore proceed with the transfer. And therefore, we propose to spend on this particular player. Also, what we are trying to argue here is essentially that UEFA has fixed a ban, as in a limit for spending. Now, what we would like to see clarification in the reply speech is what is spending and what is overspending, which we as a club would like to get more light on. But given the current standards of spending, we would like to elaborate that the fact that UEFA is indulging in price fixing, which we would not, we do not subscribe to. Precisely because there are a lot of upcoming deals, a lot of deals that will be happening over the coming year, and that precisely defeats the point of the fact that we could probably spend and meet up our debts, our overdue payables.
Thank you, Surish, for elucidating on the subject as of now. So, I think everybody has the handout of the Article 101 anti-competitive agreement and the Article 102 abuse of dominant power. I think, do I need to present it?
It's in the files, thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Under
Exhibition B.
Exhibition B, okay. Okay, we can see from the handouts is the general prohibition. Under the Article 101, we see it has to be an undertaking, there have to be an agreement or a decision and an effect in trade for the member state, and there has to be a restriction in competition. And we see from that UEFA is an undertaking, they have economic activities, so they can be considered as an undertaking. The financial fair play regulations have been a decision taken by the UEFA to enforce several rules, such as curb overspending by means of having restrictions on the amount of money which you can spend in the market. And by having these kinds of restriction, we can come to a conclusion that there is an, effect on trade on the member states, because as you don't have that much spending power with you, with the curbed amount of money which you have, you are affecting the trade of the member states. And as you don't have like adequate budget or funding to buy players of certain caliber, you're restricting the competition as of such. So that is under the anti-competitive agreement, Article 101 of the TFEU.
Order. I see that UEFA is also changing council.
Well,
Mr. Clady, you have the floor.
thank you very much. Thank you, the other part, who make these things in order. We will use your arguments to improve our financial fair play as it will continue to grow. And first of all, I need to say the true objective of the financial fair play, which is to build a fair competition between the teams and create a financial stability in long terms for the clubs and for the competition as a whole. Firstly, I would like to say that the UEFA, in order to improve the financial stability, started the financial fair play at 2010, and they made 3 cycles, giving the opportunity to club to work in order to increase their revenues in a 9 years periods. The first 3 cycle is allowed to have debt at 45 millions or 45 millions. So you need to invest at this period in order to get the future revenues. The second period was 30 millions debt for each year, and the last one is 5 million for each year, and then you will have a net profit. It will be at least 0 or in positive. So what you searched was about luxury tax. In fact, this is impossible imposing this luxury tax. UEFA deals with European competitions. This means that the power is not on the national leagues. So if one team, for example, goes to the UEFA Champions League and they need to put the luxury tax, this means creating power to the other teams to take players to not pay luxury tax, to increase their wages, so they give the unfair competition on national league. So UEFA competition are totally different with the national competition. So luxury tax or anything about wages is impossible, as it will create unfair competition in national league. So the next one is dominant abuse, in that you are talking about the UEFA, but as it's known, UEFA is created to regulate, to make rules for the European footballs.
I think the court has heard enough arguments. It's a very complex matter. I do have to say that regarding the objective of competitive balance, UEFA, I am not convinced that that financial fair play is the best proportionate system for competitive balance, because as I understand it correctly under the current rules, the bigger clubs can still spend more than the smaller clubs. So the smaller clubs are more restricted in their spending power than the bigger clubs who have more income. So I don't see how that creates a bigger level playing field. Regarding the promotion of financial stability, I do hear the arguments. It does sound that the system is a reasonable system, but that improvements can be made. And I take note of the fact that UEFA is willing to negotiate certain exceptions that might be relevant. I do have to say on the luxury tax that the redistribution might be a problem, because even if Real Madrid would overspend and the money would go to La Liga clubs, that doesn't necessarily then help the fairness in the European competition, because a few clubs might be spending a lot more than the other clubs. So I'm inclined to follow UEFA that perhaps at the national level this makes a little bit more sense than at the international level. But since I see an opening that at these deviations for extra investment money, if it can be guaranteed, should be possible. I order the parties to come to an amicable agreement and propose a settlement to the court, because I do see possibilities for a negotiated solution here. Shut up. All right, this is all. The hearing is closed. Thank you.